Biafra.
To be a Quetago, see Biafra Bukayo, Biafra Nama original. Onyabona Malugo, about to be a Quetago, see Biafra now we own you.
Yes, Biafra is our own, and then we are not going to back down until those who has interest in Biafra will back up. I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you good night, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station. Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station is being anchored by Diokpa Uchiuka Fomefo. Diokpa Uchiuka Fomefo is from Abatete. Abatete is in Anambra State, and Anambra State is Biafra land. Diokpa Uchiuka Fomefo is the man who has simply assured us that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. As I keep saying, this is one truth I do not expect everyone to understand the mindset behind it, but one day you shall. By the special grace of the Almighty Creator, I remain George Onyibe. I hail from Abo. Abo is in Anioma Province, and Anioma Province is in Delta State, all of Biafra land. I want to first of all use this opportunity to appreciate every member of the pro-Biafran group, from BIM to Mozob, down to Minas, Biafra Nation Alliance, every genuine member, wherever platform you are fighting genuinely for the restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra, acknowledge you this evening. My special greetings, of course, go to members of the Biafra Nation, all the continental administrator, all the state administrator, tonight I acknowledge all of you. Acknowledge those who stand to defend the truth behind this agitation. I will acknowledge all of them who, one way or the other, have stood their ground to make sure that Biafra is restored in its totality. Mazi Obidi Obienu, of course, Dr. Okado, Mazio Onwoka, numerous wonderful brothers and sisters over there in America, Mbadike, Ezekwesili, Nwokinkwo, Ozurumba, too numerous to mention. We will continue to remind you that. And those of you in Africa here with me, people like Udo Wele, Odiogene, Bruno, Awele, so numerous to mention. Agumwanye, Ada Biafra, we can Chimobi, so many of them. We acknowledge you from River State Administrator down to Anambra State Administrator. We acknowledge all your sacrifice. Even though we are not saying it, we know it. I just want to do that, especially this evening. And of course, I must move ahead to acknowledge. That is what they do. You see, the restoration of Biafra is supposed to be collective effort. Everybody have a role to play. But then somewhere along the line, we missed the way. And so we believe we have to harass everybody, we have to intimidate everybody, we have to antagonize everybody, we have to prove everybody wrong, except only Nnamdi Kanu. Except only Nnamdi Kanu, who is right. So he has used our monthly due contribution to pay some of our brothers who are not employed here in Biafra land to be on social media, either propelling lie, either blackmailing somebody, or they are insulting you. But believe me, everything you will do to this Biafra agitation, whether from within or the outside camp of the enemy, it will work for our good. You don't have any choice. Acknowledge all of you. Stay and show the world how you function. By doing all these things, you are reducing yourself to nothing. Acknowledge you. It's people like you that are making others to come and talk to us as if we don't exist. But it's okay. Of course, I acknowledge those who are sympathizers, sincere observers, those who have decided to hide under the umbrella of the Biafra watchmen, praying earnestly that Biafra be restored in honesty. And so I will move ahead to acknowledge the Creator, the one who sits in heaven and preside over the affair of man, for it is he who has set our feet upon this path that we must follow. We know the truth already, that before Biafra can be restored, every one of us must be ready to deploy the instrument of righteousness, truth. We know all these things before. But how are those who know the truth falling? You know the thing we are supposed to do, and you continue to prolong our suffering. Now, outside broadcasting and working hard to make sure that Biafra is restored, we are also working internally to make sure nobody will be allowed to sell the next generation. Today, you may think you are in control, but don't worry. With time, you shall know the truth. You will see that you are nobody. For how long are we going to keep quiet? Generation after generation, we are the ones selling ourselves. But yet we are the one blaming everybody for our present predicament. If we were not here, it would not have bothered us. But because we are involved, because we are here, we will redefine everything for you. And that is why when I see those who are bragging that they are Alpha and Omega, I tell you tonight, I, George Onyibe, I am your doom and I am your destiny. I am your doom and I am your destiny. We should be ashamed of ourselves. We may not be very proud of the achievement that is laid down for us by our own father, but a cross section of them fought very well. They fought like brave men. Like free men, they fought to liberate the nation Biafra from the enclave of the British government. to liberate this generation. They gave all of you the platform to stand today and try to control us. Your father, your own father, those of you listening to me, generation of 1970, 1960, 1950, 1940, even to 1919. Your fathers never let you down. And if you are among them, you want to let us down, it's okay. And so today, our fathers, today, all of you have all it takes to come out as honorable men and women that you are before the global community and present the issue of Biafra. And that is the only reason why we were so proud of all of you. And even though we know the consequence of what we are doing, even though we understand that this Nigeria will not even give it a second thought, considering the fact that that name Biafra was stopped, we were willing to march on the street. In fact, we did march on the street. We protested by the law, even before live bullets. Many of the brothers died. And then along the line, some few corrupt individuals decide to sell us. It took over more than four years, warning these people not to sell us. But they must sell us. And most of you can't even reason properly. You are running for the truth. This is one assurance we will give to you. The earlier you all know the right thing to do and begin to put them in place, the better. We are not in a hurry. We got along the line. Now they cannot start selling all of us. Now they cannot start betraying all of us. And you people don't even want to listen to most of you rather. Have you ever wondered, where is China Sanwo-Olu? Where is China Sanwo-Olu? Those of you in Biafra land, you are jumping on, oh, Biafra, we are non-government, we are ESN, we are... Of course you are hungry, I know. Ask yourself, where is China Sanwo-Olu? Where is Chike Doziem? Where is Tony Zurumike? Where is Ine Nayanya? Where are they? Where is Azaya Oba? Where is our former? Chukodi or former? Where is Austin Albanim? Are they hiding? Are they hiding? We cannot allow any of you to say the next generation. Where is Bright Chimezie? Shebi, we are in Nigeria together. Why can't Bright Chimezie come on Facebook and be broadcasting and be telling you the truth that you think you want to know? Where is Benjamin Madubugu? Eben Naya? Anambra bo Eben Naya. And when I come now, I tell you that the Delta State will be Eben Nam. Some people will want to shut me down. Where is Benjamin Madubugu? Can they come out on social media and talk as if is talking? Because they know the role they are playing for Nigerian government. And they are the one that is harassing everybody. You are a saboteur. You are a saboteur. I wonder why Nnamdi Kanu has not created another saboteur. Who would have given us the grace to expose this evil, if not for the creator? Okwagi bwe cheto biesike. Okwagi bwe kanyi jagagali o. Okwagi o Chineke ma nebuchi asem. Okwagi bwe cheto biesike o. Okwagi bwe kanyi jagagali o. Okwagi kewaro simirile o. Ime kwa nwanya ga koturu ime o. Okwagi yo Chineke o. Iboke miri nebogwe. Okwagi yo Chineke ma nebuchi me. Ibuchi me ni ibuchi. Ibuchi anya ni ja ụzọ. Agada gbajiri zonwoku bioma o. Olilanya nke ndị Biafra o. Anyị na-erere ọkụ na ihe agbara ọkụ. Ogene ka ga-eji toru gị ye gị nna. Anyị ga na-akwụsị ala na-enye gị ekene. Na-ebuchi ise. And of course, having gone through this stage, we will move ahead to look at our topic this evening, which is simply titled, Biafrans must prepare ahead of time in order not to make the same mistake of the Nigerian state. Biafrans must prepare their mind Biafrans must prepare themselves so that we will not make the same mistake Nigerian has made. A lot of our brothers are dead. A lot of them are misplaced. Numerous are locked up in different secret cells across Nigeria. Some of them will eventually come back, but their life will be made useless, and many will die for nothing. And those who have sent them will deny them. Today is Father's Day, and every Biafran listening to me this evening across the globe, you have celebrated your own Father's Day. Your wife did give you a peg and appreciated you for how you have taken care of the family, which is okay by us. Those of you who are youth, you did send your father text messages, or you showed him a kind of love to acknowledge the father's sacrifice universally, which is okay. I want you to understand that most of those people you have killed as a result of unknown gunmen, you deliberately put them in harm's way. I want to remind you, those wives who you have sent their husband to die as ESM, I want to remind you that all of them, their wives did not see them to wish them happy Father's Day. Their children did not see their father. I wonder if we Ikoso children were able to tell their daddy happy Father's Day. But then Nnamdi Kanu know how he endangered all our lives. And I know Nnamdi Kanu's wife did tell Nnamdi Kanu today happy Father's Day. And his son Nnemenam also told him happy Father's Day. And so this day should even be a day of sober reflection to genuine Biafrans, for you to understand that a lot is at stake. This having been said, I always encourage our people, if we must die, we will tell you how it's going to be. We cannot afford to allow ourselves to make the same mistake that Nigeria is making. Honestly, if you take time to study the history, the beginning of this contraction, this evil enclave called Nigeria, we would have been able to survive. We would have been able to live peacefully. We would have been able to coexist, irrespective of the value difference between us. It would have been possible. It is workable. But just that certain group of nation trapped in this contraction called Nigeria, they have a written agenda already. They have a made-up mind of how Nigerians should be already. Because if you go back to the beginning, when this seed of discord was sowed by the supposedly Nigerian leader, people like Chukwuma, Kaduna, and Zogo, and a Anioma man rose up, saw this evil in London when they were being trained by the British government. Chukwuma and Zogo, Dim Chukwu Emeka Odimegu, Obafemi Awolowo, Adekunle, T.Y. Danjuma, Yakubu Gowon, Sani Abacha, Ibrahim Babangida, to mention but a few. All those people were trained. But like somebody said, how could British government train generals, soldiers to rule a nation, except they have interior motive? How could British government not train political analysts, not train political scientists, not train rulers, but they train generals in the army to come and rule us? So you should know what all this is all about. But the story is too complicated. You cannot understand it in a single broadcast. And when Chukwuma saw this, when Chukwuma Zogo saw this, he looked around the Yorubas around him. He looked around the Hausa Fulani around him. He brought them together and said something is not right. Let us put an end to this evil. We must build one holistic Nigeria, one united Nigeria. And this is what these founding fathers are planning to do. And of course, with the support of more than 80% of Yoruba people on power, they agreed. With the support of more than 35 Hausa Fulani on power, they came together as true Nigeria. And they took a move that they felt it was necessary. It didn't go down well with the North. And then this evil started. Why have they not set up panel to review why the supposedly Igbo coup by Chukwuma Nzogo not considered? And so the next generation must open their eyes and observe us as we play in arena, because it is our turn. You must stand in dignity. You must stand in honor of their memory. You must stand proud. You must stand genuine. You must not destroy that weapon of truth. You must walk on the path of justice, fairness, and equity. Do not betray our people. And so, Nigerians raised war targeted on the Igbo, specifically the Igbo nation. And of course, that includes or comprises of both the Efik, the Bibio, the Anang, the Abo, all of you, the Igbos, they targeted you. But the cross section, who should I say they are smarter? Who should I say they are more enlightened? Who should I say they are more determined? Who should I say they are more serious in affairs concerning us as a people? They were targeted. Nigeria would have been able to run to a discussion table and put an end to it. But the only result, they arrived because they were all generals. Is killed the Igbo. Agbo Yoronsi was killed. In as much as I'm not here to applaud any of them, but it was for the same reason. For the same reason, Kaduna and Nzogo, for the same reason, numerous Biafran soldiers were killed. Massacre across the nation. Kano, Kaduna, Plateau State, to mention but a few. From that very day, their open hatred was demonstrated till tomorrow. It did not only lead us to tribalism, it led to the extent that they are deliberately emasculating us. The open hatred you see started from that time. But then some individuals, some Biafrans are trying to protect their political interest. And they ignore those menaces. They ignore those activities being promoted by the Northerners in collaboration with the Westerners. It really doesn't matter. Today, we are in the same road. And to some of you, you are in the political arena. It doesn't concern you as far as you have second tenure, and then maybe from councillor you move to chairman, from chairman you move to senator, from senator you move to parliamentarian, maybe from there you fight as a governor, and then you fight again to be president or vice president. It doesn't matter to you. But how I wish you people are sincere enough to analyze what we are going through as a people. Then maybe we will get ourselves prepared. We are working very hard to make sure that in the end, Biafra must be restored in our time. And so the next generation of Biafra will put their energy, their resources, and their time in trying to build a nation. They must know what they're supposed to know. So while all these atrocities are going on, Nigeria ignored them. They can't do anything. They can't do anything. If our brother Nnamdi Kanu, the criminal, was patient enough, humble enough to allow everybody do their job, by now, what we will be saying is how to conclude all this discussion. But he's too wise. He's wiser than anybody. So before him, your best opinion is rubbish. He's a macho man. He's stronger than all of us. And so when you talk about security, he becomes the general, the army, the commander of Elulala. He's more connected than all of us. That is why he controls all the politicians in the southeast. If we were to do the right thing, he brought the madness to River State. They cured him. Most of you are publishing. Ikwere massacre Igbo. Wike massacre Igbo. What is Wike? Fulani? Because you are not yet to tell yourself the truth. We will look into that topic later on. He destroyed everything. And before your very eyes, some of you think, let's leave. My happiness is that today, nobody have on the canoe up to George Onyibe. Nobody have praised him. In terms of physical manifestation, nobody have supported him on the canoe up to what I did. His cause and our cause, we handed over to him. And if I come out and I oppose what he's doing strongly, don't you think something is wrong? But I know how your brain functions. So you are going to say, yeah, he leave him and focus. How can we focus? How can we focus when he's practically destroying everything that will give us freedom? The next generation have a choice to make. Either live in deception or embrace the truth. But don't forget, when Nigerians were making this mistake, to them is nothing will happen. They are still making the same mistake. Operation Python Dance, Operation Ego Eye, Operation Crocodile Tears, Operation Crocodile Smile. All of them were lined up to humiliate us as a people. And today, they have arrived. Like I was saying, if Nnamdi Kanu has allowed time and process to have his course in this movement, by now, you will understand. But of course, Nigeria will not realize their mistake. They still rely greatly on their ammunition and arms. They still rely greatly on the British government who create Nigeria in the first place. They still rely on the multinational oil companies who see us as their investment. And so the managers of one Nigeria can think nothing will happen. It's okay, but something will happen. And nobody will initiate it. But everybody will initiate it. Gradually, Nigerians are winding up. And I must use this opportunity to advise the next generation of the Oduduwa nation. You people must be bold. You people must be strong. You people must be wise. You people must begin to invest into the future, because Nigeria will surely divide. And so the earlier you people begin to invest in your future and forget about 10% coming from the resources stolen from Biafra land, the better for all of us. The same advice goes to the Arewa and the Oduduwa. Because all this shenanigan that is being put up by different set of and crop of people across the Nigerian state for the sake of the issue of Biafra, for the sake of permanently dominating us, will not last forever. One way or the other, we will as a people initiate a general state of lawlessness, anarchy, and then everybody will fight everybody. And then this country will be burnt down. And then the international community who keep at this moment will be looking at us. But I tell you, in the end, a new nation will emerge from the ashes. So we must not do things in such a way that we begin to frustrate ourselves. No. We must make sure that all of us, if disintegration is the way to go, let us do that peacefully. And now, this having been said, the state made decisions based on personal interest, and they deliberately target to victimize a cross-section of our populace. They deliberately make decisions based on interest. But then when they do these things, they think nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Nigerians, something will happen one day. They're very interested in making, in fact, they have failed to inadequately prepare for the consequence of their action, as it could attract negative or positive reaction. When they make law, when they make decision, they don't check what they're doing. Buhari woke up and said the Igbos are dot. But to him, he just made a statement as a British general. He just made a statement. And then, having made that statement, people are not trying to analyze the level of insult that is hurled against all of us. And then people just sit back and say, he sit back and say nothing will happen. Well, maybe nothing happened actually. But that statement have negative effect. Whether it carries positive effect, our people must understand that just the same way Nigeria is looking at these issues, which be classified as thwarted agenda, consequences abound. The inadequate preparation for numerical growth, Nigeria didn't consider it. On daily basis, the population of the world is on increase. In fact, the growth rate could be more than 45 to 50%. Because if you check, for instance, your family, your father gave birth to 10 sons, for instance, and these 10 sons are grown-up men. In less than 30 years, the 10 of them will get married. With the way we function, of course, here in Nigeria, each of them is bound to have at least minimum of 4 children. And so if your father 10 sons in 30 years will have 4 children each, which is 40. And so maybe your father is still alive and 10 of you are still alive, plus your 40 children, and that should be around 52. And so in every 30 years, our growth rate triggers off even up to 55% population growth. Have you considered the consequence? In a way of digressing, this is one of the things that is making us to become poorer and poorer, and many families will go to suffer for it. If you do not consider the consequence of this action and get ready for it, this is one of the mistakes Nigeria is making, and they just choose not to consider it. Biafrans cannot afford to make this mistake. All the years I've lived in Rivers State, for instance, a man will wake up and have 10 sons. And this man must have inherited up to 70 plots of land from his father. He has 10 sons. He takes this 70 plots and give one plot to each of the sons. And so he remains 60. He will manage the rest of his life by selling 10 plots, for instance, to take care of himself and the family. And when he dies, he has 50 plots left. His children, who has failed to consider the challenge ahead, will move ahead and sell the remaining 50 plots. After all, there are 10 children. 10 divided by 50. Each of them eventually may have 2 plots. And then they add it to each one they have, eventually leaving them with 3 plots. And all of them will go, and their father is gone. These 10 children, each of them, for instance, we have 3 sons. And so, if eventually you have 3 sons, which means you are going to give them half plot, and then it will remain 1.5 plot. You now sell 1 plot to take care of yourself and your family, and when you die, you have half plot left. Those children will sell the half plot to bury you. And in the next generation, if none of them is able to plan against the future, you will be rooted out from your very community. This is exactly what Nigerian has failed to do. Biafrans cannot do that. Let us wake up. Let us begin to reconsider the consequence of our action. Let us begin to protect our ancestral land. Let us begin to protect the dignity and integrity of our people. I mean the dignity and integrity of our people. Nigeria, all this while, they have failed to consider the numerical growth of Nigeria. You see, if 3 million Biafrans were murdered, during the war. Do you know how many that have replaced them? The beauty is that those generations who were born, who were victims of this war, they are not tough meat for you to chew. Nigerians, of course, in fact, they have not considered the art of making policy to the detriment of the targeted group of individuals. When it comes to making policies, Nigeria is not taking time to consider what the negative effect will be. To them, they have the power, they have to do what they do. Why am I saying this? Biafra should not behave like Nigeria in this way. We wake up one day, some group of people will gather. We are the Fulani headsmen. We are giving order. Arresting Nnamdi Kanu. We are the Fulani headsmen. We are giving order. We must take your land and do open grazing. We are the Fulani headsmen. We have the monopoly of raping your women and nothing will happen. We are the Fulani headsmen. We have the monopoly of killing you and nothing will happen. And why they are doing this? You think they consider the consequence of their action? It is like Nnamdi Kanu. When they come out, I kill you. Yes, I will kill you. We will come for you. You are a saboteur. Not only you sabi kill. You know they consider the consequence of your actions. We cannot fail to consider the consequence of what is happening now. Some of you are sitting down, you are watching it. So you think you are the one that knows it all. My brother, let us consider the position where we are. Let us begin to retrace our step. We must survive as a people. We keep reminding you this because a lot is at stake. Ignorantly or deliberately overlooking the consequence of their actions, I tell you, that is one of the genuine reasons why Nigerians cannot survive. And if we ignorantly fail to consider, to review our position as a people in the Nigerian state and in the ongoing agitation for the restoration of Biafra, I tell you, this gives room to a lot of nonsense to be happening in our land. Every day we come on air. We call upon you as a Urobo man. We call upon you as a Shekiri man. We call upon you as Igbo man. We call you as Akwa Ibom man. We call you as Ogoni man. We call you as a Jaw man. We call Biafrans in Benue State. We call on Biafrans in Edo State. We call on Biafrans in Delta State. We call upon Biafrans in Anambra State. We call upon Biafrans in Bayelsa State. We call upon Biafrans in River State. We call upon Biafrans in Cross River State. We call upon Biafrans in Ebonyi State. We call upon Biafrans in Enugu State. We call upon Biafrans in Imo State. We call upon Biafrans in Abia State. Why? Because it is the same rope that is holding all of us. And at this moment, where issues of utmost importance are being discussed, everyone may have the reason why they should back down. But I tell you, begin to reconsider the negative effect on your backing out from our present quest. The earlier we all come together to fight and put an end to this system of oppression, the earlier we come together and fight each other, the earlier we create a platform to insult each other, to fight each other, and at the end review the menace around us, the better for all of us. On daily basis, the enemy grow bolder. And may I remind you that we grow weaker. We grow weaker. That is why the oil well in your land is owned by those who are not from your place. The oil in Bayelsa belongs to Jigawa. We go weaker every day. That is why the head of religion, you all, Adeboye and Kumuye, is somebody who is not a Christian. The Sultan of Sokoto is head of religion. We are going weaker on every day, but you can't see it. That is why the man in charge of Nigerian security, whether from the police, whether from the artillery, from the air force, whether from the naval, all of them are Fulani men. They are not from your place. The man in charge of the central bank, currency operation, all of them are not from your place, and they can never be. You consider the executive, it is being minded by those who hate you. If you consider the legislature or the parliament, it is minded by those who don't like you. You are completely surrounded. But there is only one way to escape. But to you, it does not affect you holistically at this moment, because you are doing fine in so many areas. But I tell you, with what we know, we have been reduced to this level. What about our children? They will just fly over Biafra land, and then maybe in another 100 years we will be telling story. I think my ancestors used to come from there. And then it will end up that Africans, not just Biafrans, will be slaves scattered across every nation around the world, because we have failed to stand up to fight. To fight to defend our ancestral land. To fight to defend our identity. Today they have come to a junction where they must face reality. But the problem now is that they are working very hard to cover their previous atrocity, which cannot be hidden. And so out of desperation, they commit more crime against the people of Nigeria. I mean Biafra. Nigeria today have realized the truth. But then they have come to a junction where they can't cover the atrocity. We already know. We already know. And they know we have already known. Now what are we supposed to do? The next generation of Nigerians, of course, this is inclusive of the three nations that are trapped into the contraption, must understand that the truth is out there already. Nobody can deceive anybody. Nigeria would have moved on at this small point in time and begin to rearrange instrument of disintegration. But no. Instead, they are threatening you every day. We will kill you. If you divide Nigeria, we will divide you. We will do this one. We will do that one. My brother, it's not so. But the people of Biafra must also understand that we can make those mistakes. You cannot force anybody into Biafra. You cannot make the same mistake, because the people know the truth already. And so there are a lot of things we need to begin to put in place. But if we fight sincerely, if we fight with one mind, if we fight for the genuine cause to restore Biafra, believe me, we are almost there. But if you think you can bamboozle anybody, you can deceive anybody, you can harass anybody into submission, you are eventually making the same mistake of the Nigerian state. Nigerian Biafrans must not make that same mistake. The people of Biafra cannot afford to make the same mistake, as there will be no other result than that of the Nigerian state, which is the main reason why everybody must do the needful, even when it means that you run on the offensive. Biafrans must understand, you cannot back down. You cannot pretend it doesn't happen. We cannot make the same mistake that Nigeria has made, even when it means to run on the offense. A lot of things are not right now, but of course we are working very hard to make sure we correct the mistakes. The journey on the quest to restoration or restore Biafra has taken a lot of turn, so many turn. And as such, we have clear reason to reevaluate our position by first of all making adequate preparation for the packaging of the product before it can be sold. We have followed so many turns in this quest, on this journey to restore Biafra. But I tell you the truth, for us to be able to sell this product, there is need for a packaging. The current packaging of the Biafra nation, it's a mess up already. When we started this agitation, most of you started it with Chief Raphael Uwazurike, generally referred to as the father of the new nation. Most of you fought side by side with honor with Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, the people's general. And then on these two platforms, we saw dignity. We saw men and women of principle. I can never forget one of our sisters that said, we will not go back to Nigeria. We will not go back to Nigeria. Even though it's remaining one man standing, we will keep on fighting. The woman, that young lady, must be dead. She said the father was cut into two by fellow Nigerian. Those are men and women of principle. They all fought side by side with Ojukwu, with honor, with dignity. They fought with Ojukwu. The packaging was so unique. The world still marvel at the achievement to this very moment. They packaged themselves very well. And so, even with the amount of challenges and pressure upon the people's general, Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, in one of his speech, before he moved into Ivory Coast in exile, he said, we make no apology. We make no apology for this Biafran phenomenon. We will not apologize. He was so proud of himself. He was so proud of this nation. He was so proud of all men and women who fought side by side with him. He was proud of little children. Look at our youth now on Facebook. What are they doing? Ojukwu saw the best of us. Dim Chukwuemeka Ojukwu saw the best of us. And so when he has been able to analyze everything he has achieved and lost, he said, we make no apology. Maybe you will understand what we are saying. Because in 3 years, it was evidence that they manufactured their own bomb. They call it Ogbunigwe. Some people said it is an Ogoni man who formed that Ogbunigwe. Another said that it is the Abag and Scepter. But in either way, in 3 years, Biafrans formed a bomb. They were able to launch a rocket. They were able to direct it. They guided it properly to hit its location. Yes, in 3 years, they drove automobile with coconut water heated up into alcohol, eventually use it to empower diesel engine. The Go Fire refinery, or the local refinery have in Nigeria today, which is even manufacturing crude petroleum product more than NNPC or Dangote refinery. These were some of the invention, achievement of those boys and girls, those men who fought side by side with Ojukwu. They opened the refinery. Why wouldn't they be proud of themselves? Why wouldn't we be proud to follow their legacy? Why wouldn't we be proud to come out and our life? Because they make us see more light and they give us more reason to stand our ground. We cannot make the same mistake Nigerian has made by destroying all that we have labored for. Those who fought with Ojukwu, they were able to write telegram letter across the globe, communicated with people in continents across the world, even without your current mobile telecommunication industry available. They were able to build their own aeroplane during the war, build armored car. They were able to improvise, use palm oil to even drive automobile. Most of you don't know. They fought very well. And at this moment, I am humbled before all of them. It was this achievement, despite the fact that they lost greatly, that gave people like Raphael Uwazurike the mind to continue from where they stopped. Yes, we lost men and women, but the truth remains that the Nigerian state has undermined all of us. They continue to give us land blockage, air blockage. They continue to give us sea blockage. They continue to oppress us even harder than they have oppressed our fathers before us. But Ojukwu and his men did not mess up this agitation. Raphael Wazurike, mounted on this stage, on this platform, he fought very well. It was not easy for him. Along the line, we believe he's not doing it well. And then Nnamdi Kanu came out under the umbrella of IPOB. Most of you guided him. Most of you encouraged him. Most of you supported him. We didn't come out because of Nnamdi Kanu. I didn't come out because of Nnamdi Kanu. I came out because we were sincere to ourselves. I came out because we were telling ourselves the truth. And then I used to hear, Anyana Atoase, Anyana Atoase, whiter than white. It is no longer in this a slogan in this journey, no more whiter than white. The only thing is that you are a saboteur. We will kill you, we will bomb you, we are killing all of you, we are run to the bush. We followed him because all the people who have walked alongside with him to this very moment, none of them messed us up. And 15 years on, we are still here. And the stage we are today, everybody is ashamed. Everybody is running already. Everything we are so proud of is being destroyed. It's being rubbish by Nnamdi Kanu. Most of you are not seeing it yet. But we are not backing down. You will see it. A caller came on my program yesterday. I told you, this thing you are saying, you are coming to beg Nnamdi Kanu. And I said, yes, if he repent, holistically repent, he must bring back all our brothers he has set up. He will bring all of them out. Both the misguided one like Obasi, he will provide them. Both the betrayed one like Akuwara, he will provide them. Because he doesn't have the monopoly of killing anybody. Today, look at where we are. Look at where we are. Are you very proud? Now we must check the consequence, the negative effect of our position today. If we do not give the next generation reason to be proud, reason to be proud of our action, reason to stand up for total liberation of our people, I tell you, Biafra is gone, and the people of Biafra as well. Don't let anybody deceive you. That is why, because we cannot allow that to happen to us. That is some of the reason why we are here in the Biafra Nation Alliance. It is to begin to create a wings of representative who will continue to nurture our people on how to protect the interest of our people in different areas. For us to be able to make sure that we leave a legacy for the next generation, we form the Biafra Nation Alliance. In Biafra Nation Alliance, we don't have Supremo. In Biafra Nation Alliance,